Welcome back to an episode of We are going to enter the Everlight Hideout. And in order to get into here, you actually have to put in a code, and the code can be obtained through little documents like these here, scribbled notes and so on. And in order to decipher them, sadly you cannot put them in the correct order, but yeah, there are two numbers here. The first one telling you the order, so 1 means it's the first number, 4 means it's the fourth number, 2 means it's the second number, and 3 means it's the third number. So you basically put in the code in this order: 1, 4, 7, and 2. That's the order you need in order to get into that thing. If you are too lazy to find those scrolls somewhere in the wild, they are fairly easy to get. They are scattered around the city, and there's just 4 of them, so it's basically really easy to get them. Alrighty, so much to that. Let's get into the hideout and see what happens. Yeah, what's going on?
The hardest thing about business is minding your own. There are few cities where this proverb rings truer than in Everlight. With an underworld almost as large as a surface city, a provider can be found for almost every dark desire. However, the syndicates and gangs of Everlight have mastered the art of staying out of sight. Mostly, they do their business either behind closed doors or in the innumerable tunnels and sewers that run under the city like a web of veins, oozing with black blood.
I kind of noticed that the H kind of looks like the Japanese symbol for 10,000. It's called man. Kind of the same thing, which is weird. Alright, so this is the Elixir and Refugees. Sure, we can just get out of there. But we don't wanna. We wanna look at the hideout and all of its content, because let's just... Oh, okay. There seem to be enemies down here. That's interesting. Not just thieves that try to come to get by, but enemies in general. And this is weird. Okay. I wanna have some AoE here. Bam, nice. Yeah, the AoE is amazing. The AoE is amazing. Corpse explosion! Boom! Oh yeah, does this one? Yes, it inflicts bleed if necessary. There we go. Oh, they have negative defense against death magic. That's amazing. Boom! And let's throw this onto him. Wait, what? Oh, it's the that was the heal. We don't care about the heal. Always use the heal, not for the damage, but to support our main damage dealer out on the field. There are also humanoids that I can read up on. This one, especially not the war crier. I think it's a tracker. Is it? It looks like it was a tracker. Earth Rupture creates an elemental trap that casts at the caster's position that deals damage to enemy units upon entry. Kind of felt as if it was a mental. It's like charlatan or something like that. Just a ranged fighter. It could have been a charlatan, but it wasn't really... Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. I just rotated the camera here to fight better, but you can actually see this. A Duelist sword. A very peculiar blade that seems to have been custom made for a specific swordsman. You have no clue as to how to wield it effectively. Dwarven Traditions, a book written by Joseph Mason, a famous Northandian explorer and scholar. And the rest is just standard equipment. So, what do we have here? Where's the bloody book? This one. Dwarven. Okay, perhaps the most well-known aspect of the... Yeah, I know all about the Dwarven Traditions already. Always check if there are duplicates in here. I mean, it's nice that you can have multiple copies of the same thing, but it just litters my inventory with stuff. Pride of Northander, padding. A piece of the legendary armor rumored to have been worn by the very first ruler of Northander. Its properties shall remain unknown until a brave hero collects all the pieces and reforges the famed suit of armor. Also, 1 out of 3. So you're kind of going all around the world, collecting parts of ancient artifacts in order to combine them. In the end, you're just, if you manage to find all of them, you immediately have the whole set or whatever it is available. Oh, Lacerating Dagger, that's a nice one. It has a chance to apply bleed. We don't know the chance. We just know that it happens. It would be nice to know what the chance actually is. Like, how do you trigger that? Also, the Ring of the Lightbringer. That's one of those thingies that you can buy. Story of Rock and Primora. Is there anything else down here? It's just one little hideout without any, like, ways coming off of it? That was just it?
Yes, of course.
That's interesting. Very interesting. So this hideout is basically just a little treasure-ish area. So, what was the thing? It was the story of Rock and Primora. That's the one. Didn't I? There was once a shepherd's daughter named Primora who lived on a small farm while tending to the flock. She would often sit by the river and da-da-da. One day an orc came, and deceived her. Yeah, the story of Rock and Primora is something that I've already read. The thing is, it's not sorted in the correct manner. I think I have to do this. Click on sword. Then I have to... No. Yeah. That's just weird. Like, oh, come on. Why aren't those stories sorted? Can I? I can't move them around in order to sort them manually. So something is wrong with sorting the documents. And it's getting really difficult to figure out what's the newest item. Because they are not placed in here in the order that you collect them. Like, the newest one is not at the bottom. It is sorted with rarity in mind. So blue's up there, then comes green, then comes the common stuff, and then comes the other type of item. In this case, it's the schematics for the research. It's also kind of interesting that the most important stuff, the schematics, are down here. Okay, it kind of depends. Like, sometimes you want this, sometimes you want other stuff. But why is this one green, actually? Like, does it have a certain purpose? Like, there's the mysterious note, there's the message in the bottle. Maybe it's foreshadowing Mage's Note again, self-awareness. There's a Mage's Note vision. Interesting. What happens if you have all of those thingies? Anyhow, now that we get the dagger, we can kind of ignore it. Get out of here. And see what we can do. Well, yeah, in the sewers of the city. It takes a little while. The interesting thing is, I changed the affinity of the game.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality...
And I don't know. I thought that the usage of certain threads of the CPU was a little bit too high, and I think it is a problem of multi-core CPUs, and they, at least I think it's the problem. I don't know if it actually is a problem. Let's say it a bit more clearly here. I have no idea if it actually fixes anything. But it felt as if some CPUs are packed a little bit more than others. At least if the game here is running on more than, let's call it the regular amount of CPUs. Like 4, meaning 8 threads, 6 and so on. So it might be that the whole thing is designed for normal PCs and not some over-the-top thingy. So what you have to do in this case is change the affinity of the game to just use maybe half of the cores, and then the load is actually spread out more evenly, and it's not just collecting in one thread. I don't even know if the whole thing will get better or not. Because the thing is, wait a minute, options. So let's go to the display thingy again. You have the FPS counter down here, and it's locked for VSync reasons. It should go up to 90 once you get this away. But yeah, now it's 70 something because we are right in a town. Let's see what happens if I go a little bit further away, but the whole thing is still going strong, I believe. 90, yeah. Right now nothing is really happening. So let's go back into the town, and the whole thing is at 70 something. So that is basically what you get. It might be because of the affinity change, maybe it can actually get more. But yeah, I have to actually look at this. Just because of the whole temperature kind of thingy. But okay. So, where's the other one? There's a sewers down there. And I'm gonna check that. Like, I'm going to check all of the entrances in the city that lead to different areas. One of them was the hideout, and the other one will now be the sewers. I just have to get to the entrance here somehow. And there we go. The sewers. Confirmed. There are two, maybe there are definitely multiple entrances in here, but I don't know which one was which. So let's just go for that one here. Yeah, I think I have to change the affinity of this one. Just open it up again. Because I think it kind of messes up the whole loading cycle of the game, because it's actually a little bit faster. So, come on. What do you have to do? Yeah, it kind of like it tries to do something. I think that's the reason. Ah, very interesting. I changed the affinity back to standard, basically, and the game immediately loaded up. So it seems as if changing the affinity of the game kind of messes up how it calls functions or whatever it does, really. I have no idea. But yeah, it needs to continue running in the same manner that it started with, and you cannot really switch anything. So let the game run as it runs and see what happens. It's just kind of weird, though. The hardest thing about
business is minding your own.
Whoa, look at that! Like immediately it loads up things. It was immediate. Like usually you wait a little bit, but this time it's like, boom, take your level. Take it now. Alright. So, we are now in the sewers, and let's just check out what this little...
Yes, of course.
This little chest is. But this little chest is going to get us killed, I believe. So, this one will heal a few people. This one gets a... I need... What do I need? I could use this one here. Corpse explosions are not gonna happen here. Let's just silence the dude. Bam. The mesmer doesn't really work. Let's take this one. Bam. Oh, look at the heal. Regeneration and heal is just kind of overpowered because of the continuous bonus healing effect that occurs. Look at this. It's pretty decent. If you combine it with enough armor, then, because you don't need too much armor, you just need enough armor to stay alive for as long as it takes to kill the enemy. That's just something to take in mind. Like, it's always this relative or effective health kind of thing that you keep in mind, that you need in here. Like, so, having immunity is cool and all against specific enemies that are just too powerful, so that you can kind of cheese your way through it. But in actuality, what you just need is enough regeneration to survive.
Understood.
Enough health to survive, and enough resistance to reduce the damage. Because resistance and your health, if you multiply together, kind of gives you the effective health that you can that you have towards a certain type of damage. Like, let's say you're getting attacked with arrows, and you have no resistances. That means that your effective health is as high as the health bar is. Just completely disregarding the regeneration. And if the resistance is 50%, or let's say if it's 100%, then of course your regeneration, your health is infinite towards pierce resistance. Towards piercing damage, this way around. So in this case, it is the what goes to infinity. Because 100% is 100%, it's a flat number. In order to get to infinity, that means the health increases with higher numbers of these. But it I think the formula for this is health divided by 100% minus the resistance. Divided by 100%. Or divided by 1 minus the resistance, and the whole thing is also 1. So in the end, what happens is you have an infinite amount of health, because 1 minus 1 or 100 minus 100 is 0, and if you divide by 0, you basically, well, mathematically it makes no sense, but if you put this closer and closer towards 0, then, well, not this number here, this one has to be closer to 100, but because of the formula thing, if you put the formula closer to 0,
got it,
on the fraction, then the whole thing goes infinite, and your effective health will be infinite as well. So, or close to infinity, meaning that you can't die. It's just one way of thinking about it. Like, you can basically use this way of thinking about health and effective health in almost every game, because of the whole fraction kind of thing. So, that one gets nice heal. So oh no, we have to heal ourselves as well. Oh yeah. That's not sweet. Let's go with Paradox Magic. There we go. So this dude has to be killed like that. Perfect. Don't have any more than that. Like, Paradox has a very high cooldown. Strangely. Yeah, let's look at how many enemies are getting affected by that. It's amazing. Let's do some damage over there. This one gets killed like this. And there's just one more. Oh no! As long as we attack them, they are not attacking us. We're not getting killed by any like side effects here. So let's take this one. Bam! Regeneration. It's amazing. Kind of feels like a druid to me. Anyway, the whole effective health thingy is just really interesting way of thinking about it. Really, really interesting way. Oh, the sewers are a nice way of getting around the city. Maybe if the sewers are very small, you can really use them as some kind of a shortcut through the city. But the city itself is also fairly small, so Falar.
We should get moving. Understood.
If we get close to the thing, what happens? Like, can we talk to it? Like, see that?
Alright, fine.
We can move it about. It seems as if this creature is part of another mission, or future mission, or whatever. And yeah, the sewers are actually really, really small, and they can be used as a way of getting across the city, because it's just a very, very small cross you can traverse through. It's a nice way. It's basically using some kind of space shrinking idea, because right now we are at a completely different space. Where's the bleed? There's the bleed. Bleed happens over here. This one does another bit of damage. Bam! Perfect. Also, why not just go for this thingy over there? Oh, look at the damage it is. Look at the damage it is. Now we got all of them. Too bad they don't leave behind any... Oh, there's stuff. There's some stuff. Strange kind of thing. We got ourselves a Blackened Mace, which just does black damage. And a white hood for some reason. Nothing else down there. Okay. Oh, wait. No. No, these were my undead, so everything's fine. That's that.
Yes,
let's just check this area right there. No.
Got it.
Nothing there. Ooh, there are those strange roots again. Like trees growing through the stones. It's also kind of interesting that they just grow through the stone. Not through the stone, but around the stones, really. Like through the cracks and everything.
This way, right?
And they kind of shrink in size. And then they... Oh, there's Medusa. There's Medusa. Aye, aye, aye. And I didn't save, didn't I? So. Oh, no. I'm... Aye, aye, aye. Something is off. Come on. Aye, 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 aye. Okay, that one has to be immediately killed. Perfect. So they are not that friendly, I think. That one takes this thing and the Mesmer spell, and we are gonna get healed again because we have to. Look at the amount of damage that I take in here. Okay.
We should get moving.
So now everyone else attacks this one. Like, we use a stun to stun the enemy for a few seconds. So we got a little bit of time to react. There we go.
Let us make this quick.
Nice. Medusas. Wait a minute. So these were multiple Medusas. I actually thought these were the same. So let's just look at the glossary. Medusas. So they are... Okay, so they are fighting Medusas, Spellweavers, Impalers, and Vixens. Despite popular belief that Medusa are a form of demon sent by the renegade gods who plague the world, they are a different kind of creature entirely. They possess a primitive intelligence, and some even display a semblance of a structured society. While Medusae are a common sight in Imperia, few are even seen in Northander. They are several accounts, however, of small tribes of Medusa near Utron. How they got there, or what caused them to leave Imperia, is unknown. Maybe they start as little snakes and then they turn into humans. So there's some kind of metamorphosis happening there. Crippled Gaze applies impaired to nearby enemies, applies a pathetic to nearby enemies, and heal all allies in the target area. Impaired to enemies, okay. Creates a frost sphere in the target area that deals ice damage to nearby enemies and applies impaired. Applies impaired to nearby enemies. So, impaired, and impaired again. So, this seems to be their special kind of special ability. Impairing everything. Really interesting. So, wait a minute. Let's just see. Where do we end if I just continue this way? There's also a dead body. Maybe I can check up on the skeleton that's on the floor. Yes. You can't really see it because there's stuff in the way. That's kind of like annoying. Not kind of. It is annoying. Like, see that? You can't see the skeleton. There's the skeleton. If you look at it like this, there's no way of seeing that. And if you try to rotate the camera, there's this thing right in the way. So there's only one way of looking at it, and it's this way. Only slightly the border. I really am not a fan of those huge ass walls where you cannot look through, and also you can't click through this. See that? Usually what should happen is I click here and the units are supposed to move to the side, similar to that thingy over here. But you can only click on stuff that you can see, right? Like that one. Otherwise the game, I think, identifies it as being on top of a mountain also, but there is no mountain up here that you can get on top. So like this black space up here is the top side of a mountain, literally. Like, see that? You could actually walk up the wall and then you're on top of the mountain. But there is no mountain. It's just there for, well, decorational purposes. Atmosphere and whatnot. So if you click on it, the game thinks you click on top of the mountain, but you cannot go there, so nothing happens. So you always have to click on the ground directly. And this is kind of a problem, to be honest. Because sometimes... yeah, your units just go up the mountain and you kind of misclicked. And sometimes nothing happens at all and you wonder like, what's going on? And sure. This is... I mean, they try to make the game look good and it's really cool. But these usability...
Sounds like a plan. That way?
It's not really a glitch. It's also... Let's not consider it a problem per se, but it's just an outcome of the design, really. That turns into a problem that no one really thought of.
Blasted armor.
So
As you require.
It's just like, how would you make your characters move to the correct location that you specify? Like, how does the how would the game know that you mean the bottom area like that and not the mountain area like this one up here, right? What if you actually meant go up the mountain? And then there's always a problem. So you want them to go up the mountain, but somehow stuff happens. The tent shows heavy sign of usage and reeks of urine, feces and liquor. The interior has been ransacked. Is that the whole thing?
A fine plan.
Yeah, looks like it. Sometimes you can click on it and you get the text multiple times, and sometimes nothing happens at all. So, what is this? Refugees.
Yes.
It's the end of the sewers. It's the southern sewers. So we have... wait a minute. So there are only 3 entrances to the sewers. One at the north, which we took. That's the one. And I think the entrance always looks the same. Depending on... Like, there's an entrance, like this one here with the... entrance. Okay, that's not the right word. There is a entrance according to every entrance on the outside. Like, there's this gate here with a normal gate. Then you have, like, the huge gate, like this one here, which also corresponds to the same gate on the outside. And then you have a ladder, which probably goes to the park area. So this one would bring us right to the southern, close to the
few refugees
coast
who make it to
area.
Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality...
Yeah, right like this one. It's actually really well done, because otherwise, if everything would just be, let's say, the ladder system or the same entrance, then you wouldn't really know where to go to. And if you rotate the camera, and okay, you can just reset it in order to figure out where things are. But in this case, you really know that's the one down here. Then there's one... now I can't see it anymore. Somewhere in this section... There we go. That was the one in the north. And then there is one right here. That one. That's the ladder going down. And now there's just one question. Is there another sewage system in the eastern parts of the city? I think, at least, it could be there. Also, you see there are some grayed out points in here. This one looks like... Is this? I don't know. Could be a grayed out point. Could also not be. So I have to check that out. Grey dots on the grey map. Like, how on earth can you even... Mud Dweller, yeah. So, they really have names. And now I have to go all around the place. Good. Let's just rush towards this thing. And we're going to teleport towards the center area up there. That should do it. Like, why can't you just go around here, up the ladder here, and then you are right in the city? But no. Why make it easy when you can make it difficult? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Righty. Now then, let's check out the strange grayish dots that I found. Yeah, you cannot click on any NPC in here. There are just a few of them that give you a response, and you kind of have to hover over them in order to figure that out. You cannot just... That one. Isn't that the one with the hair? I think that's the one. Yeah, that was the one with the hair. Okay, the hair lady. Then there's also a mud dweller in this area here. There's this mud dweller, and then there's this mud dweller. There are 2 mud dwellers close together. Do we get a response if we walk past them? Nothing.
You got
Yeah.
it.
There might be a follow-up mission that tells you to do something with the mud dwellers. Because there are only 2 of them, maybe more. I don't see any other grey dots in here. Not only because it's very difficult to identify them, but because that might have been just it. And then there might be another one. Wait, there's this one over here, but now the center area is safe. Okay. So that means that we are going to talk to Clara in order to continue with the mission. and get access to the Mayor's Hall, because right now nothing happens, and she might be our key to the Mayor. Because for some reason we have the Elixir quest done, but they won't let us through even if we ask nicely. I mean, what if we just tell the guard that, yeah, we have a problem with the Bloodburn? Think about it. The thing is, it's not contagious, so you can just let the people die, which is just a very, very, very mean way of looking at it. But yeah, you can basically do that. Let them die if it's not contagious, and that's just it. It's like people having accidents, really, and you don't start a war between the people. Reinhard the Rakish. Oh wait, there's another one. Alrighty, and with this, we're gonna end this little episode through the Suez. Also, yeah, somehow we cannot enter this area here. Either I messed it up, I think so, because we have to tell the orc that we know where they live, and then we have to get down here into the slaughterhouse. Or there's a follow-up mission. I don't know. I think we messed this quest up. So try to tell the orc where they live, and maybe you can enter the slaughterhouse, just as a little side note. Anyway, as I said, we're gonna end this episode and continue with another one at another time. Until then, like and subscribe. Ta-ta!